So good evening. How are we doing? Welcome to Ask Me Anything, which is a Q&A with myself, which is GP. How you doing? So a couple of things. First of all, let's just change a couple of things. Let's put that back the way I want it. There we go. Hi. Good evening. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. What we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of things. Give us a shout out if you are watching the stream. We are actually streaming on not one, but 4 different locations. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitch, and we're on LinkedIn as well. So have a look, and if you're saying hi, come and say hi. Tell me where you are. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, and we're going to have a couple of things I want to talk about specifically. And then, obviously, we're going to open it up for questions for you guys to talk to me about anything you want to. Now, there is one major topic on my channel that is coming soon, and there's certain things I can say and certain things I can't say. But we're going to have a conversation about it anyway. And a couple of things. First of all, on this side over here, this side over here, and we do that. There we go. There. I've done there on this side. Hello, there we go. So we've basically got what's called the multi-chat, and this multi-chat means that if you're chatting, no matter whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, you'll be able to see each other. You'll be able to chat with each other. And there's our first one. Hello from a looper in Canada. Hi, how we doing? The RC600. We're going to talk about that tonight, so we're going to have a quick conversation. And there's the box. So we're going to have a conversation about it, and there's only a couple of things I can say at this time. But we are going to have a conversation about it. So a couple of things. First of all, if you obviously joining us for the first time, this is what I call Ask Me Anything. So ask me anything you like, and we can talk about live streaming, we can talk about looping, and of course there's been big news in the looping industry, certainly for the hardware loopers, and there's also something happening in the software looping as well, and we're going to talk about that as well tonight. But also, just a quick one, this live stream is sponsored, and it's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. DistroKid is a distribution company, basically, where if you make songs, you give your songs to them, and what they do, they send it out to all the different streaming sites all around the world. And you've got things like, obviously, the big ones like Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Amazon Music, Pandora in America. There's loads of other ones out there, including the social media sites, things like Instagram and Facebook, and you can use your own music in your Instagram stories, which is really clever. And then what DistroKid also do as well, they give you a load of promo tools, so you can actually make stories about your own music and use your music in them, and if people listen to it, then you get played. How cool is that? Now, DistroKid actually do a thing where you can make as much music as you want and give it to them for $19.99 a year. But with the link that's on the screen now, which is just there, you'll get 7% off your first annual membership, no matter which tier you have. And you've got 3 different tiers, so if you want to do a label tier or just an individual tier, you'll get 7% off that as well. So thank you very much for our friends over at DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. Now then, let's do Ask Me Anything. So, straight away, right out the bat, RC600. So I hope you guys can hear me okay, by the way. I hope that's all good. And it's been released, isn't it? Hasn't it? So yeah, it's been released, and it's been announced, and Boss have actually got their own live stream happening. I think it's on the 24th, tomorrow, I think, or is it 26th? I think, something like that. The president of Boss is actually going to be making a live stream, and they do a thing called, I think it's Talk About Boss. And it's all going to be about the RC600. So my advice to you is watch that live stream. There's going to be things that are talked about there, and it's going to give you a little bit more insight into the RC600. The RC600's web page is up on Boss's website, and you can go and see that. And then also there's a couple of bits more information that's dropped, including the manual. The manual is now available to download. So if you want to get ahead of the curve and you want to actually find out what it does, then yeah, you can have a look at that and have a look at the manual as well. I will be bringing out a full in-depth overview and answering as many questions as I can when it's the right time. And when we're be able to do it. So that'll be coming soon with the RC600. So stay tuned, obviously, for that. But at the moment, we've just literally got to figure it out. And there's a lot that it can do. The only thing I would say is a question was asked to me is someone who has an RC300 and said, should I upgrade? Well, it depends on what you need it to do. If the RC300 does everything you need it to do and you don't need any more, then no, stick with the RC300 because obviously that is going to be the thing that you know the most. However, if you need it to do more things, then the solution is another looper that goes above that, and the new flagship looper is the RC600. Now, a good friend of mine who's on YouTube, David Shannon, has actually put a couple of videos down. He's been a little bit of a super detective and been looking online and figuring out a couple of things, including the brain inside the RC600 and how very, very close it is to the brain inside the RC505 Mark II, which, if you're not familiar with that, that's the tabletop looper which they have announced as well. I used it for the Swiss Beatbox Championship. If you're into that, and have a look at that. Glenn, best regards from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Nice, thank you very much. Wow, all the way over in Canada. I take it it's the middle of the day, no, it's Montreal. It's not that many hours behind, I suppose. So have a look at David's videos, David Shannon on YouTube. I just give a shout out to him. He's done a couple of videos about the RC600 and he's been quite investigative about it. And yeah, it's quite an insight. So the big thing, of course, is that, hey, how are we doing? The big thing, of course, is that we all already know it goes from 3 tracks to 6 tracks. The big thing as well is it's 32-bit floating. Now, I'm going to pause for a second when I say that because people ask, well, what's the difference? Why do I care about 32-bit on a looper? Well, one of the big things is that as you start adding more layers on, it's just after 3 p.m. Hey, you're good. Cool. Wicked. I'm very well, thank you. Bit of a sniffle, but it's just a normal cold, nothing else. But yeah, so if you think about how many layers you put on a looper, if you keep adding audio and audio and audio and audio on top, when you get to a certain point, they get to a certain point where basically the sound gets degraded. Degraded? Is that the right word? Where am I from? I am from the UK, so we're speaking on Twitch. That's right. Yeah, Twitch. Cool. Yeah. Hi, I'm from the UK. And my name is John Paul. I do everything all about music and music tech. If you've not seen me before, and we talk about basically anything. This is Ask Me Anything. But my big thing is about looping, where you use a looper, a little bit like Ed Sheeran does, or Katie Tunstall does, or Ariana Grande when she uses the 505, things like that. So we talk about that. We've got a big YouTube channel if you want to go and check that out. But we're also obviously now live streaming on Facebook, on Twitch, and LinkedIn as well. Anyone on LinkedIn, basically give us a shout out if you're watching there. The first time we're actually doing it from LinkedIn. You're from Russia. That's cool, man. Well, really cold right at the moment. But yeah, that's wicked. So going back to the question of basically about 32-bit. So 32-bit, when you're looking at how many loops you put on a looper, the sound starts getting, basically, the sound quality can start degrading. It's +7. Oh, that's not too bad. That's all right. Not very cold. Okay, cool. I suppose after a couple of months, we get into real cold stuff, right? So like January, February time. But when the sound starts going, so I'm flipping between things. I'm sorry. So I'm just looking at the chat. So when the sound starts kind of like going, not worse, but basically the sound starts degrading, the quality starts going down. Is that the right word? Degradation? I can't remember. But the sound starts going down. And what happens is that the sound quality will start sort of like deteriorating is probably the better word I'd use. If you go to 32-bit, then that sound quality is literally double the quality. So therefore, when you add more and more loops on, the sound quality doesn't go down far enough. Now Boss Pedals started putting 32-bit into the RC5 and the RC500, and I didn't really appreciate it when it very first came out. I started going through speaker. This is a big Mackie Reach speaker. This is my big PA speaker. When you're going through something like this, you still really start noticing the difference. And I went back to the RC30, and then I was like, oh wow, like it's like the difference between sort of like DVD and Blu-ray. It's, for audio, it really does make a difference. So 32-bit is the new engine that they have in pretty much their all their new range now. The RC5, the RC500, they're putting it in the 505 Mark II, and they're putting it in the new RC600 as well. Did you listen to Russian popular songs? I did not. I'm not very familiar with the Russian popular songs, but if you want to suggest some, then I will write them down and I will go listen to some. Absolutely. I'm always looking for new music to listen to. So throw them our way and we can have a look. And that's for everyone, by the way. This chat on this side over here, I keep pointing that way. I should point that way. There we go. This chat on this side is what's basically called a multi-chat. So if you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitch, you're on LinkedIn, you can chat and you can see everyone else's chat as well. Oh, I'm going to stop because I'm going to open my drink and have a swig of drink. Now, at the moment in the in the digital world, will you listen to it now? I want to see your reaction. I won't be able to listen to it now because the way I've got this all set up, I haven't got a way of listening to music right now. But drop some songs on. I'll write them here. And then what we'll do is I'll have a look at them, and then maybe on the next live stream I'll set it up so we can play them live. How about that? As long as I'm allowed to. I don't want to obviously hit any copyright problems. But yeah, if you can drop some, then we can have a look at it. Now, I've just touched on hardware loopers. Okay, it's talking about obviously the big one that got announced was the RC600 floor pedal, and then you also got the RC505 Mark II. Now, there's another one. Hi from France. Thank you for your videos. You're welcome. No problem at all. 4-bar loop. I love it. Right. Okay. I'm going to write that down. 4-bar loop. I'm going to find you. That's cool. 4-bar like that. At the channel. Is that what we're doing? Oh, I've just bashed the mic. I'm sorry if you heard that. 4-bar loop. Let's have a look. 4-bar loop. Let's find channel. Hello from France. Where in France are you? Let me know in the chat. 4-bar loop, where are you? I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna subscribe to you. I love that. I love that as a channel name. That's great because you know exactly what you're getting. Well, I hope I do. 4-bar loop. There we go. Hey, there we go. I found you. Cool. Wicked. Nice. Cool. So that is Beat Academy. There we go. Wicked. No, that was something talking about the 4-bar loop. Let's find your channel. I've all found 4-bar loops. 4-bar loop. Where are you? Well, do you know what? I'm going to remember it. So I'm not going to like take hours trying to find it, but I'll find you. Don't worry. It's all good. I'm just a beginner. Cool. Excellent. That's what we want. Fantastic. So everyone here up. And this also is going to be replayed as well. So 4-bar loop is just a beginner. So everyone who's watching this stream, I want you to go and find their channel and subscribe. We all need to help each other out. Every YouTuber started with 0 subscribers. Okay. So we all need to help each other out. It's not a competition. It's not like one's got to get up on top of another because that's what we all get told for music. No, we've all got to help each other go all the way up to the top. So everyone go and subscribe to 4-bar loop. That's what I want you to do tonight. Right, cool. So let's have a quick look at this chat because it's kicking off now. Let's have a quick look. Right, I have a question. Let's have a quick look at this. So let me just get rid. Hang on. I'm not very organised tonight. Let me get rid of that. There we go. That's better. I have a question about the RC600. I'm still using the RC50. Hey, I have the 50. It's awesome. My main issue with the RC50, and this has not been changed in the 300. Okay. I think I've just clicked on half a thing. So, GC Mac, where are you? There. IO and routing. I want to be able to mix my looping shows like a band, everything to go separate channels on a mixer. Good. Go and look at the manual of the RC600. That's all I'm going to tell you. So, yeah, there's only so much I can and cannot say about the RC600 at the moment. It's a huge upgrade from 300, I think, personally. So if you've got the 50, it's like a guy who's horse horse-drawn carriage going over to Tesla. Going over to an electric car. It's a huge thing. So yeah, it's. I understand why they've called it the next generation looper. It's not just about more tracks. There's lots going on there. There's absolutely lots. Far too much to me to talk about in 1 hour. But what I would certainly say is go and have a look at the page. Go and have a look at Boss's Talk with Boss live stream that's going to be happening in a couple of days, and then you can make your decision. Now, at the beginning, I actually said, GK, if you're happy with the 50 and it's doing exactly what you want it to do, stick with the 50. If you want to go up to the 300 and you can get a bit more out of it, go with the 300. For the 600, for the 600, it's down to you. It used to be that like people doing looping, it was like, oh, you're a looper, cool. Actually, now it's gone way beyond that. If you look at the promo video that they did for the 600 and the guy playing the saxophone and going on to different things, you can clearly see that those channels are actually all being plugged into the back individually. So they come out individually. Now, you've got 6 in, you've got 6 out. So, if you want to mix that, that's entirely up to you. It's all good. Let's have a quick look. Where are we up to? Cool. 4-bar loop. I just created it to be able to chat. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're going to create it and you're going to do more looping or you do anything like that, then please obviously do that. We always encourage new music or more music. You can't get enough music. All good. So yes, that is absolutely right, Glenn. 32-bit is great for multiple layered loops, good for live or even recording. And that's another good point, actually. Thank you for pointing that out. It is good for recording because, of course, it's higher quality. And then you can obviously get what you want out of there. That's really, really good. Now, let's have a quick look. Where are we? You guys are chatting away. The RC500 6 inputs and 6 outputs. I think you mean 600, don't you? The RC600, because the 500 has 3. It's got the microphone and it's got the left and the right. Can you assign the inputs and outputs anywhere you like? Example, can I have a mic input 1, output to right main output? Okay. What you're basically asking is, can you route it one way or another? You'll find out. You'll find out. So yeah, it's all good. Mic 2 input go to the left main. Oh, I see. These were actually clicked together. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, so on. So actually, it says that it's actually got input. Let's have a look at the actual site and just take it from there. It's got 2 microphone inputs. It's got 4 inputs, both left and right, stereo, and they are also mono inputs. So even if you couldn't do it internally, you certainly can do it for real. So you could actually plug in input 1 to output 1, input 2 to output 2, and so on and so forth. So you could potentially do it like that. It has main out and it has sub out 1 and sub out 2. So actually there are 6 outs. Now, based on what you can do on RC500, you can actually change the input and output of that. And I have a video all about that if you are interested about that. So, and it just shows you how to do that on the RC500. If they're going to take that and roll with it, then so be it. That would be amazing. But yes, that would be a fantastic thing. It's all good. 4-bar loop, thank you very much. Your videos help me. Oh, thank you. If you are into looping and you want to do a little bit more, or you're just beginning into looping, I have a course that you can take, and I've also got a PDF you can download. So just go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk, that's my website, and then you can actually go right to the bottom and download the PDF there. There's also a course you can buy, which you don't have to buy it, of course, it's totally up to you. But my course is there, and that will help you out, and it's called How to Loop Like a Pro. I've been looping for over 15 years, and I've done it live, I've done it busking, I've done it at main stages, I've done it, and I've done it at local shows, I've done it using backing tracks, I've done it doing all live, I've done it all. I've done loads of different looping and loads of different styles. And if you want to get basically my sort of secret sauce tips, as it were, then you can do, and you can get it for it, no problem. Cool. What was that? Great idea. There is no room for competition in music. There is not. do you know what? Okay, this is, I don't want to moan, but bugbear and or X Factor, we have to compete with each other thing. Let me give you a pure example about this. If you listen to a track on radio or on Spotify or on Apple Music and you've listened to it, you've finished listening to it, what happens then? Do you go, oh, that's the only one I'm going to listen to? I'm not listening to them because they didn't win the competition. No, you listen to the next track. You listen to another one and another one and another one. I listen to so much music when I'm on the train. I listen to it at home, through speakers, through my HomePod. I listen to it all. So it doesn't matter. Basically, we all need to sort of raise each other's bar up. And this idea of competition. I've been in competition. I've been in music competitions because I got sucked into it years ago. We shouldn't be in competition with each other. I mean, we kind of grew up with the whole number one, the most listened to. Now, the most listened to isn't the same as a competition. Like, you could take everyone in that competition and just put them in the top 40. Done. Everyone wins. And then whoever comes out on top of that, if everyone's still winning because they're still becoming valid artists. So there shouldn't be any kind of competition as such. It should just be a who's been played the most. And that's fine. And then if they want bragging rights for that, then they can do it. But there shouldn't be this whole, well, because they won, they're crap. They're not crap. They're basically, this didn't get as many votes as the other person. It doesn't, so like X Factor, for example, you know, if they get like 1 million votes for one person who wins and the other one got 0.7 million, there's still 0.7 million people who like that person. That's not a loss. So yeah, that's my little 2-bit rant about basically competitions. We shouldn't be in competition with each other. We should be just listening to as much music as possible and taking it all in. Talk. I'm gonna slow down a bit now. Right, cool. I get it. Yeah. Cool. My response to this is, don't we all? Yes. The Headrush looper board has amazing routing. It really does. However, it is between 2 and 3 years old. But I think that was a real big stepping stone, and I moved from my 300 to the Headrush looper board, and I moved to it because I wanted more. I think a lot of people have got an RC300. You get to a ceiling, and you get to this point where I go, I can't get any further than that. I can't make it do any more. And if it's fine, if I know someone who's rocking the 300 tonight in a pub down the road, and he's great with it, and he loves it, and that's fine. That's his board. That's what he's using right now. Quick shout out to Joe Bennett, who is playing in Hoylake right now. On the Wirral, Hoylake's on the Wirral in Cheshire, over from Liverpool. That's where I live. And quick shout out to Joe Bennett because he's using the RC300 and he loves it. It's fine. It's what he needs. He's a acoustic guitarist. Makes a couple of beats with his hands on a guitar, and then he makes a couple of beatboxy noises, and then he cuts a couple of layers down and he sings over the top, and people dance to it, and that's fine, and he's happy. He has a stereo out. He doesn't use the sub at all. He doesn't want to. He plugs it into one speaker. Done. He wants it as simple as possible. And you know what? He's really, really happy with that. So will he go to the 600? I don't know. Will he go, I need a 500 instead because of the quality, but I want to drop a track? No, probably not. He likes the 3 tracks. And I think when you gotta step back 10 years. If you go to Boss 10 years ago, they brought out the RC300. It was 2011. So that is a long time without a new flagship looper. But also at the same time, at that time, the RC300 was an absolute sort of golden chalice. It was an amazing piece of kit to go from the 50 to the 300. And we're still rocking the 50, you know, with, where are we? Yeah, GK, Matt, you're still rocking the 50. I mean, to go to the 300 is a big step. And then to go, obviously, from that, I mean, we're looking at 20 years. So it's 2001, the RC20 came out, I think, if I remember correctly. And now we're in 2021, and we're at the cusp of the RC505 Mark II, which I've watched some of the Swissbeat videos. My goodness, what they can do with that, with just their voice, on the 505 itself is amazing. The Mark II, it just takes it to a whole new level, and there's so many different effects in there. There's so many different like little tweaks you can do, which is really, really good. Now, the important thing with the 600 is, let's just say, for example, let's say hypothetically they put everything from the 505 into the 600. Let's just say they did that hypothetically. How do you access all that stuff without your hands? Or if you're playing keyboards or something like that, how do you access all that? Well, the access is customization, and I think it's all about basically what you want and how you customize the board, as it were. And it does say, obviously on the website already, but basically it's highly customizable. And also we've got MIDI, and now in 2021 MIDI boards are more advanced than ever before. I have the Morningstar MC8, which is an absolute powerhouse, and I never even realized how much of a, I knew it was good, but I didn't realize how much of a powerhouse it was when I got it. And they keep upgrading it in the firmware, and it keeps getting better and better. You can press a button on the Morningstar and send a sine wave to make it sound like a wah pedal. That's really clever, and that's all done through MIDI. So then the other end, whatever picks it up, whether it's a keyboard, a pedal board, whatever, will then think, oh, a wah pedal is being used, or it's sending the signal constantly to go to change like the cutoff or the resonance or anything like that. So you couldn't do that 5 years ago, let alone 20 years ago. So, some things like that are really clever. So therefore, I don't need an expression pedal because it's going like through making a wah sound to the BPM of the song. That's really clever. It's really, really clever. So you can get pedal boards. Everyone talks about things like the Behringer one. Was it the 1010, and then the Roland, the FC. Is it the FCB? And I had one of the Behringer ones, and they were an absolute pig to program. And then someone came up with like a chip you could buy, and you could have to change the chip yourself. So I was like, customers shouldn't have to do that. So, you shouldn't be soldering, basically. So it just showed that people loved that board, but they wanted it to be more. So along comes new MIDIs, like, with all these different things, velocity, pitch correction, or pitch control, which is really clever, just at a touch of a button. So, yeah, there's a lot to learn from basically not just MIDI itself and the way MIDI's advanced. For people who are, need something on the floor, the pedals have just gone, I think, to a second generation now, and I think that people like Morningstar are really, really on the cutting edge of that. I think it's really cool. Right, cool. Let's have a quick look. Where are we up to? 4-bar loop. I've planned to create it later on. Good content will be ready, but I wanted to participate here tonight and said, then why not now? Thank you again. There's a really famous YouTuber, basically, who's called Sean Cannell. I don't know him. I just watch his stuff, which is through Think Media, and they have this little thing. It's their little intro, and you just hear him say, "You've got to just press record." You have. Go onto my channel, go right to the very bottom of my YouTube channel and look at the very first video. It's crap. However, I'm keeping it up there, and I'm keeping all of them up there because you see progression and you get better and better with time. If you keep putting it off, you'll never do it. So find a day, pick 4 songs, 4 covers, whatever you want, or 4 originals, put a camera up, plug in your stuff, hit record all 4, and then sit there for a week and edit them, and then put some titles on and just publish them. Do it, and then tell your friends. That's how I started doing mine, and then we started doing tutorials and things like that because people ask me questions of how you do stuff. But if you're looking at sort of like, artist YouTube channels, they just record, they just do it, and just do it. Just hit record. Be confident, obviously, with it. Don't think the camera's there. Think that you're playing at a gig, or think you're playing at an audience, to someone, not to a camera, and just concentrate on your own stuff. And people watch it. They do. They watch it. The people want to be entertained. There's a weird statistic at the moment. 300 hours per minute is uploaded to YouTube now. Think of that. 300 hours per minute is uploaded to YouTube. You can't watch it all. You just can't. 3,000 people per minute couldn't watch it. That's crazy. So yeah, so press record, 4-bar loop. You've got an amazing name for a channel. I wish I thought of that. That's really, I like that actually. It's quite cool. Sim, how we doing? On YouTube, let's have a quick look. How have you managed to ascertain if you can create groups with the RC600 so multiple song parts are possible? That's a very good question. That is a very good question, to the point where I'm going to be writing that down and I'm going to be answering that in a video. There's only so much I can and cannot say at the moment about that. There it is there. And all your questions hopefully will be answered as soon as I am allowed to answer them. Let me put it that way. So yeah. I've ascertained a couple of things, but I'm going to be telling you more and more as time goes on. So I'm going to be doing more content. So just keep watching, keep looking out for it. Okay. Just before we continue on, just a very quick one, as they have been very, very good to me. This live stream is actually sponsored. It's actually sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. Just a quick one on that, for 30 seconds on that, which basically they are a distribution company. So if you make music and you want your music on iTunes and Spotify and all these different places, you give it to a distribution company and they send it out. Now, other distribution companies actually charge you per release. These guys, what they do is they charge you $20 a year for as much music as you want to put out there. So you could put 10 albums out there. You could put 100 albums out there. They don't care. You could do that if you want. And they basically have $19.99, $20 a year, which is amazing. And if you click the link that's basically, it should be in the description box on Facebook and YouTube. I hope it's on there, and LinkedIn and Twitch as well. But if you click the link or just write it down and from the screen, we can give you 7% off your first annual membership. So big thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring the Ask Me Anything live stream. So this is the Ask Me Anything live stream. Ask me anything you want. How are we doing? How are you? What time is it there? What did you have for dinner? What's for breakfast? What's the catering? Ask me anything. Live streaming, looping. You can ask me anything you like. Whether I answer it is another matter. No, I'm joking. So let's go back to the chat. Let's have a look what people are asking and people are talking about. There we go. Amazing how advanced MIDI has gotten. Yes, it is. I had no idea it did all these amazing things besides pitch and velocity. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the Morningstar, for example, when you press that button, you have to program it up, of course, but basically it's got 8 buttons. It actually can do, I think, a maximum of 16 MIDI commands per press. Now it's got a press, it's got a double press, it's got a long press, it's got long press release, double tap, long press release, and there's loads of others. And each one of them can do 16 things. So for one button, you've got like the maximum of I think it's ridiculous, like 256 commands you could do if you really want on one button, if you really wanted to. So what you could do is imagine you've got 4 effects pedals that can all take in MIDI. You've got a looper and you've got an amp that can take in MIDI as well. You could press one button and it could turn on different effects for each one. Send a signal to different places, send a signal to the amp to change the amp, and then turn on a looper. You could do something like that. That's how intense it can be and how clever it can be, where it can make you, for people like me, like a one-man band, I haven't got enough feet to do that all in one go. I've seen this girl who she plays like the violin. She did Gangster's Paradise years ago on an RC 300, and she's barefoot, and you should see the speed of her feet. She's like she's doing stuff, and it's amazing. People who can do that. But these things just make it easier for you. You know, it's a turn on, turn off system, but you have to program it, and it's up to you how you do it. So it's become a lot more advanced, definitely. Anna, I love what you're doing with your channel. Thank you. Oh, that's very kind of you. For those of you, basically, I'm really curious about how you set up all these things, such as visually streaming with the chat and getting almost 10,000 subscribers. Yes, we are on the road to 10K, which is amazing. The way to get 10, how terrible do I sound? The way to get 10K. I don't know how to get 10K. I'm not there. road to 10k is consistency. That's what I got told by a friend of mine who is also a YouTuber. His name is Unders, who has a music production YouTube. Go and check him out. He's just gone over 21,000 subscribers. And his little word of advice, I know him personally, and we were talking one day, and he said, consistency. And I said, what do you mean? He said, just put out a video a week. He said, you hear about these YouTubers who burn out because they're trying to put something out every day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. So if I put out a video of, I don't know, Ed Sheeran Shivers, if I put it out the week Ed Sheeran released, yes, I'm going to get more hits. Or if I put a, how do you play on GarageBand? If you saw that the day it was released, or you saw it a year later, does it matter? It doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. It only matters when you need it, or you search for it on Google or YouTube. So as long as it's there, or I'll give you another one. Loopy HD. If you put Loopy HD into YouTube, I'm very, very proud to say that my tutorial is number one, more than the people who make Loopy HD. So I'm very proud of that. And I've spoken to Michael, who makes Loopy HD, and he loves the video. So I'm really happy about that. However, that video is a couple of years old, 2-3 years old now. But I only had someone a couple of days ago going, so happy I found this because it's helped me a lot. Great. Well, then they don't care when it was released. They care that they saw it when they needed it. So my advice, I can't believe I'm giving YouTube advice. I don't really feel like a full-blown YouTuber, but I suppose I am. Where do I sign? It's consistency. Put a video out once a week. Film 4 videos in a day. And then, film 4 videos in a day. This is this little secret that I do. Film 4 videos in a day and come into the studio with 4 different T-shirts. And then just go, yeah, that's video 1. Change the T-shirt. Here's video 2. I've only got 1 day a week to do this. So if I'm ill one day, I've got a bit of a sniffle now. It's just a sniffle. It's nothing else. But let's just say that... And then, do your research. If you're doing something like you want to talk about something, if you're passionate about something, you know it backwards, talk about it. And then, if you're talking about something brand new, you need to do a bit of research. I've just picked up this brand new camera, which is a Sony ZV-E10. I hope you like the quality, by the way. It's gone up a notch since we last did a live stream. And I don't know loads about it. I'm not a massive camera guy. I love it. I love tech. But I'm not a huge camera guy, so I'm learning about exposure and the fact that I think my face looks too shiny and because there's lights everywhere. But I've got to learn it. Now, I'm not going to do a tutorial on it because I don't know about it, so I'm watching other people's tutorials because they know what they're talking about. So YouTubers learn from other YouTubers, you see. So my thing is, be consistent and talk about what you know. It's simple as that. And then everyone talks about niche or niche if you're in the US. It's niche, by the way. You don't say kitsch for quiche, do you? So it's quiche and it's also niche. So your niche, my niche is not music. Music's too broad. So you got music. What kind of music? Well, looping music. That's where I am. So take it down a peg. If you ain't cooking, cooking's too broad. What are you going to do? You're going to do Asian cooking. Or you're going to do Italian cooking. So you could obviously whittle it down. So build a niche and be consistent. I only do 1 video a week and we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, which is amazing. And I want to thank you all personally for getting me to that point. It's an amazing, amazing thing. I want to do more. I want to do so much more. And I've got so many things that I'm already planning 2022. Got a little jot down thing on my iPad. And I've got a couple of ideas that I'm going to run through with you guys soon. But I'm going to keep them here until they're ready. So yeah, so thank you so much, Anna, for saying that. That's really, really kind of you. And yeah, you got to have fun with it as well. Don't get too serious about it. Don't take it too seriously. It's just video. It's just talking to people, isn't it? So I'm going to have a sip because my mouth's dry. Whoa, this is a big, long one. Okay, so, hi, John Paul. I'm streaming live as a vocalist using backing tracks. Hi, Francis, by the way, on Facebook. This is a multi-chat. So if you see that Francis Facebook, and other people are speaking on YouTube. And by the way, I just realized, Francis, I'm going to come back to you in 1 second. I've just realized I haven't actually answered Anna's question. Really curious how you set up all this thing such as visual streaming and the chat. This is all done through Restream. So I'm not using any software whatsoever. There's no software at all. I've got the camera plugged into the computer. The computer's here, by the way. I've got the camera plugged into the computer by a USB. That's it. This microphone's plugged into an audio interface by USB as well. 2 devices. That's it. I've got some lovely lights and it's a lovely camera, and that's it. And then I've got basically Restream. So Restream.io. I don't normally do this, but if you go there, I haven't got the link actually in the description box at all because I normally use this for a different live stream. But since you asked, it's not sponsored by Livestream, so just think not sponsored. And you've got restream.grsm.io/John Paul Music UK, $10. It's really, really catchy. And if you go to that link, and if you miss it, you can watch it on the replay. If you go to that link, you can get $10. This is all free, by the way. What I'm doing right now is free. And I've got a video about it as well. That's probably the better thing to say. I've got a video about how you do all this on Restream. So look at Restream. And it's great. It's really easy. And I can bring in anything. I can bring in a video if I wanted to. I can bring in other people's chats. And the multi-chat thing is huge for me. I love this because think about this. If you've got like 50 followers on Facebook and you've got 2,000 followers on YouTube or the other way around, and you do a live stream on one channel, the other ones are going to miss it. Well, now not, because I can restream to wherever I want. So this is going to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn now as well. LinkedIn are starting to do videos, which is great. Thank you, LinkedIn, for accepting me to do live streams and also at the same time doing new videos. This background that you can see right now, this is actually all graphics that are from Restream. So I can change it. I can have it like this, or I can have it like a little video that goes in the background. Look at that. That's really nice. So yeah, so there's loads you can do. So Restream.io is how I use it. I just wanted to let you know that. I'm not going to put this one on the screen because it's really long and it cuts off halfway through. So I'm just going to show you that first bit and I'll read the rest. So I'm streaming live as a vocalist using backing tracks. Is there any device I need to put between a USB mixer and the computer to help the quality of the sound? Basically, I'm taking a lead from the mixer USB out to the computer to help with the quality of sound, basically with a USB connection, and then through OBS to send out. Welcome your advice. Thank you. Okay, so Francis, if you're streaming live and you've got backing tracks, the backing tracks are, you said basically, let me just click that again. Oops, sorry, there we go. See, mistakes can happen when it's live. I just clicked it and then clicked off it instantly. I'm streaming live as a vocalist with backing tracks. So here's the question. So between the USB mixer and the computer to help the quality of the sound, I've got 2 questions. Are the backing tracks on the computer? And then you've got a USB mixer. So you're singing with the mixer as well. You've got the mixer and then you've got singing, like microphone into mixer. I've got to think about this visually now. Sorry, I'm a very visual person. So microphone into mixer. You've got laptop into mixer as well with USB. Is that what you're saying? And then everything's going through that to go to OBS, or is the backing track coming from somewhere else? Is it coming from somewhere else into the mixer? So that's what we need to know, and I'll be able to answer that for you. That seems small considering the global population of 8 billion. What did I say? I can't remember what I said. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Anna, you can tell me. Cool. Let's have a quick look. Glenn, not on looping, but I still see the DR880 as the top drum machine from Boss in local shops. Is there any alternatives I'm not aware of? Yeah, it is. I agree. I open-heartedly agree. DR880, I don't know. It's kind of like certain things become industry standard. DR880 changed the game for a lot of people. It is an amazing composed machine, I think, as well. You can really drill into it. There's loads out there. There's loads of other ones out there. There's loads of, I mean, Akai's just released this new thing, the new studio thing with the pads. But yeah, I think it's the Dr. Rhythm thing. You know, it's got that all about it, and I think it's again those things where team came together and just created the baby, and the baby is good. I really like your thoughts on that, because it's about programming. I think about programming the rhythm, so you can program the rhythm really really well on that machine, and it's also something that's kind of like stayed the testament of time. There's not many people who like want more, and they go, this isn't enough. It can always deliver. So yeah, so I think it is a machine that's kind of like stayed the testament of time. There are other ones out there though. So you've got, you know, the other option you've got is basically using things like an iOS device, and you know, and then you've got basically, let's have a quick look. What alternatives? Let's see if we can find alternatives that people say. Now, I haven't used many drum machines. I mean, yeah, the Korg KR55. Anyone want to weigh in on that? The Behringer RD6. That's not in comparison to that. I wouldn't put that in comparison. I've seen the RD6. There you go. 23 best drum machines of 2021 review. Just put DR880 alternative into Google. You'll find that. But yeah, that's a good point. So yeah. Appreciate lots of your advice. It's exactly the point. When I hit record, I do mistakes. Guess what? So do I. Do it again. I keep practicing and things going better, and some content is hopefully coming soon. Yay! That's what we want. We want more content. Go, go, go. Yeah, we make mistakes. It happens. And do you know what? You make mistakes live. You make mistakes. I forgot what the team small in the population. I've forgotten, and I'm live right now. I've forgotten what I said to Anna. Everyone makes mistakes. It's fine. Do you know how many takes it took me to actually get Ed Sheeran's Shivers? It looks cool. But yeah, it's he sings a lot of words in a short amount of time. What was that? That's okay. Cool. So look, I can't find the RC600. Oh no, hide that because never mind. I found it. Good. Cool. So I've got a couple of things I want to talk to you about, and first of all, one is that. Let's not beat around the bush anymore. Let's talk about this, and just right on cue while I'm talking about this. When are we going to see your RC600 video? That's a very good question. At the moment, all I can say is basically I am obviously talking with Boss, and all I can say is it's coming soon. It will be coming soon. There's a lot to talk about, an absolute heap to talk about. It's not. It's way more complicated than the RC500 when you really dive into it. And it's got a few sizes as well. It's coming soon, and I don't mean this as some kind of really dirty plug, but obviously subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, the notification bell, and you'll know when it goes live. I know it sounds like some kind of really dirty plug. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to do a dirty plug. But that's the fastest way you'll find out when I've released it. I mean, obviously I'll put it on the communities and stuff. So if you are into looping and you haven't seen the communities, I'm actually in the process of trying to build my own looping community, no matter which looper you've got. So if you are interested in that, let me know. It is in its infancy right now. And basically, I can't tell you when. I can't tell you when, but it's coming soon. It's coming soon. There is a live stream actually happening in a couple of days' time from Boss themselves, from the president of Boss, which is the Let's Talk About Boss, and they've got the RC600 there. So a lot of your questions might be answered there anyway, but I just wanted to let you know it's coming soon. And it's not just one video. Lots of videos coming. So yeah, there we go. Just want to let you know that. That's why it's taken a long time. Hi, John Paul. Okay, cool. Thanks. So my Bracken tracks are on the iPad. Oh, cool. Which is connected into mixer, and then microphone into the mixer, and then from USB goes into the computer. OBS is set up on the computer, and the live stream. What was that? Set on the computer, and I live stream through this. Just wanted to see if there was anything I was missing. Thanks again. Okay, cool. What you could do is if you say the iPad's connected to the mixer, is it being done through the headphone jack? Or is it being done through the lightning port? or is it USB-C? Because if you can do it through the Lightning port, it wouldn't be, would it? You're plugging it into a mixer, so it will be through the headphone jack. An alternative you could do is you could plug the iPad directly into the computer, bypassing the mixer, and then that way the audio quality is digital. Now, saying that, what you're going to need is you're going to need a little bit of software for OBS to understand that that's an audio player. So if you're on PC, go and look at, I'm racking my brains now. Oh, what's it called? Voice Meter Banana. And that was not me having some kind of epileptic fit. It's Voice Meter, and it's MEETER, Banana. And it's actually called Banana. What it is basically, think of it as an internal mixer inside your computer. When you play music out of any computer, you have to excuse me. There's a little bit of a raspy cold. When you play music outside your speaker, the computer's designed to basically send it to the speakers. That's it. Done. Because that's what you're meant to want. And then what the Voice Meter Banana does is, what you can do is you can reroute it internally. Think of it as internal wiring. And instead of sending it out to the speakers, you can send it to OBS, which is really cool. So you can actually play something, plug it in via the Lightning port, which is digital, and you're not losing any audio whatsoever. And then you could send it out like that. Alternatively, the other thing you could do is, and this might be a little bit of a weird one, and this is going deep in water, lose the iPad. Lose the iPad completely. Get your MIDI files onto the computer itself and play it through something like iTunes, or play it through like Virtual DJ or something like that, and route that audio directly into OBS. And then what you could do is you could literally use maybe the iPad as a controller. So you go next, 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 and use it as a stream deck. So then you just press the next button and it goes. You could get it digitally. If it's going through the headphone jack into the USB mixer, don't lose the mixer, because you need it for the microphone potentially. But you're plugging in of almost like the way you would do a gig, and that's cool. That's the easiest way to do it, because then that way you know what's being controlled. The digital way, the downside of doing it digitally is, of course, then you've got to look at a mixer on the screen, which then, could be a bit, oh, can they hear me? Can they not hear me? I don't know. The nice way of doing it with a USB mixer is you go, that's my setup. I can see there's audio going out to the, and whatever's going out there is going out to my speaker is exactly the same going into OBS. So for simplicity, I'd say stick the way you are, because that's probably the easiest way to do it. However, if you want to make the audio digital, you could technically load the songs into the computer and play it through the computer. But as I say, you'll need a bit of software. If you're on a Mac, by the way, as opposed to PC, the little piece of audio software that does the rerouting, there's many of them. There's one called Loopback, but it's really expensive. There's another one which is called Black Hole Audio. If you just put Black Hole into Google, you're going to get pictures of space and black hole. So to put Black Hole Audio into Google, and then you'll be able to find that piece of software. It's just a little plugin, and then it just basically says send the audio from here to there, and you go into audio MIDI setup on Mac. Oh, that's right at the back of my brain, that one. But yeah, you can do that, no problem. Right, what's that? Can't wait. Neither can I. I can't wait either. There's so much to show you. Right, cool. Wicked. Let's have a quick look. Another question. Are you excited for Loopy? Thank you. We were just about to talk about that. That's the other news and looping happening. Loopy Pro. Now, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, or what we're talking about, basically Loopy HD is written by a company which is called A Tasty Pixel. It's a app which has been it's famous. It's been all around the world. Joe Cocker's used it in an interview and all kinds. And Loopy HD kind of changed the game for looping on iPad and iOS. And basically, you get a load of circles, and you just tap it, and it creates the circle, and you can add more in, and it's really great. It goes up in standard with obviously things like Quantaloop and L7 Looper, things like that. But Loopy HD really did push it. It just used to be Loopy, then he did Loopy HD. So Michael, who makes Loopy HD, who I've spoken to for many a year, said he's going to make Loopy HD. What was it called? The Masterpiece Edition. He called it the Masterpiece Edition, which is meant to be basically like a pro level version. So now, after a little bit of a hiatus and personal stuff, he's back. And he's also the same guy who made Audio Bus, by the way. So if you ever use Audio Bus, thank Michael, because it's an absolute godsend, or was an absolute godsend. So the world's moved on from Audio Bus since then, but at the time, you couldn't send one thing into another. Now you've got things like Ableton Link and all kinds. Anyway, I digress. He's making a new version of Loopy, which is now Loopy Pro, and then he announced it. And I did a what's coming video, and I was like, what's going on there? And I was like, I said in the video, there's a page where I was like, is that a DAW? No, couldn't be. Not just in a looping app. It is. It flipping well is. I'm so excited, and there's a beta for it, and the public beta. I am in that beta. I can tell you that now. So I am actually looking at Loopy Pro at the moment. I'm all over it. I think it's great fun, and the community is really great as well for that. So if you do want to check it out, go to Loopy Pro's website. There's a new Loopy Pro website, and you can sign up for the beta. And they're letting people in dribs and drabs because it's a lot to take in. And only sign up if you are going to report some problems or you are going to test it. Don't just sign up because you want to have a look, because it's gonna end up being floodgates, and it's gonna be a problem for Michael. And so Michael's only a one-man band, and he's got a couple of people helping him. But yeah, have a look if you want to. But yeah, Loopy Pro, I'm very, very excited. I did see the reveal video. I think it's brilliant. I can't believe that he's just letting us build our own version of Loopy however you want it to be. Have you noticed that? Have you actually seen that on the video? Literally just add in what you like. So earlier on we were talking about MIDI, and Anna, we were talking about MIDI before, and literally Loopy is taking that on board and going, well, you've got your loop there, but then you also want to control the volume. So just put in a fade next to it if you want, or over there, or over here, or over there, wherever you want. And it's getting to that point where with hardware loopers, we always get frustrated because it's like, well, this is the way it is. That's it. It won't change. It's going to be like that. They'll put firmware updates, but that's it. One of my biggest frustrations with the headless looper board was when they brought out the pedal board, which was the guitar thing. They had little LCDs, and then when you change something, it changed. I thought, oh, that's cool. I hope they do that with the looper board. Nope. So there's no expression pedal. Nope. So you have to add one in. So, but it got to a limit where I was like, oh, can't I put that button over there? Nope. So customization, I think, is the new way forward. Whereas with an iPad or an iPhone, it's a blank canvas. You could do whatever you want. Now, Loop HD was set for certain things, so like 6, 9, or 12 loops, if I remember correctly. I think you can do, well, no, let's not beat around the bush. You can do a lot more. You can do a hell of a lot more loops, and you could have them groups. Michael said that in the video. You can group it all. You can color code it. You can add things in, and then imagine taking all of that and then putting it into something like AUM, or having it as an AUV3 plugin, like all of that power as an AUV3 plugin. This is why iPad 4s. iPad 5, they can't handle it anymore, because imagine taking all that raw power of 16 loops with effects, with faders, with everything else, and then going, cool, now let's make that a plugin. It's a lot of power. And this is why we've got things like, the M1 chips and iPads now, and, and the A15 and like the 13 mini. And by the way, I am all about Team Mini right here. I've got big hands and I love the mini phone. I think it's an absolute godsend. I've been looking for a smaller phone that doesn't rip my jeans for years. So I mean, I'm so happy that they've brought a mini out. I had the 12 mini, no, on the 13 mini, and I will. Please don't get rid of the mini. That's all I'm saying. Apple, if you're listening, I'd love that. But fleeting over to software, I'm absolutely excited for Loopy Pro. I really, really hope people do some amazing things with it, because I can actually see people controlling things like lights and visual software with it whilst looping, and it'd be a really great show. It'd be amazing to see things like that. It'd be really cool. Glenn, I like the DR880 includes bass lines as well. Yes, it does. Yeah, and the thing is, you can build on it. You know, it's a great building tool. Um, you get the idea for like some kind of syncopation. I think it'd be a really cool idea. It's cool. Wicked. So, football loop. How we doing? Recorded anything yet? I'm only messing. Which editing software do you recommend to begin with? Thank you. Voice Meter Banana is just yeah, it is. Voice Meter Banana is amazing. If you're on PC, I'm on Mac. So editing software. Are we talking about video editing software or are you talking about music editing software? And also, what device are you using? Are you using a PC? Are you using a Mac? Are you using Android? Or are you using iOS? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the chat. So let me know what you're using to edit the software on, and I'll give you a recommendation. You're welcome. No problem at all. Regarding your setup, I think what you need to look at is just the easiest way for you to do it. The easiest way for you to perform. I even did. Hang on. Oh, this was not prepared. Shuffle. I even did a video on how to actually make that a backing track machine. So this is the RC5 loop pedal. I know it's a looper, but it's 32-bit, so really high quality. So you can import really high quality WAVs into it, and then you can actually just go start, next track, start, next track, start, next track, and you can do things like that, and you can actually have it as one shot, so it doesn't, it doesn't loop. It actually plays the whole thing, and then it just ends. And then what you do is just go up a memory, or if you have a second pedal next door to it, you can go up a memory, and it just carries on and plays the next track. So you could do that all from the foot, so you don't have an iPad not there like looking like you're emailing. You can just press a button on the floor or on the tabletop, whatever you want. So if you want to see that video, I did a RC5 as a backing track machine, and it works really well. It works really well. A friend of mine was asking me about this, and also someone else on YouTube, and I think that's what spurred the video, asked me about a really big looper as a backing track machine. Said, no, that's the wrong thing for you. Don't do that. Like, you don't spend like £600 on a headrush looper board just to make it just because it's got backing track facilities. I keep pointing over there, by the way. It is over there, and that's something else, and that is the looper board. So. Yeah. But yeah, so you can do that and just click it and yeah, really handy, cool. I love these. I love this chat. Cool. So we are just over 1 hour. Thank you very much for joining us. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and LinkedIn Live. I hope you guys are watching. If you are, drop me a hello. And this live stream is sponsored, and it's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. DistroKid is a distribution company. So if you make music, you want to get it out there in the world. If you want your music on things like Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, Apple Music, all these different ones, Facebook itself, Instagram, stories, all that kind of stuff available. You know, when you pick a song on Instagram story, your song could be on there. But you need to send your music to a distributor, and these are the guys to do it. There's lots of different distributors out there, to be fair, but all the other ones, what they do is they charge you per release. So imagine if you brought out like 4 albums and 12 singles in a year. That's a lot of songs. It's also a lot of money. These guys charge £20 a year, $20 a year, by the way. So $19.99 for one artist for as much music as you like per year, and then you basically get to put as much as you want out, and you can actually they can go and get the royalties for you and get your profits. Now that link underneath, which is also in the description box below, will give you 7% off your off your first annual membership with DistroKid. And they've got some really cool things. So if you're in a band, there's 5 of you, they've got a thing called Teams. You all sign up, and the band members, they get a discount. And then what happens is when you get the money's split however you set it. You can set it as a percentage, or you can just set it evenly. So you can do things like that, which is really cool. They've got some cool videos. So you've got things like Marcel from Friends. If you're my age, you'll know what that is. Apparently, there's a whole new range of people who are getting into Friends. where there's Marcel, he puts the CD in and he goes, "Oh, if you don't do that," Ross goes like that, and he puts it in, and it plays your music, and it's really funny and it's clever. So I've got a couple of things out with DistroKid myself. They're really useful. So I just want to thank them for sponsoring this live stream. And this live stream is Ask Me Anything. What's your cat doing right now? What film are you watching? What colour should my lights be? Ask me anything. I don't mind. There's certain things I'll talk about. There's certain things I won't, of course. But you can ask me anything. It's it's Saturday night. Ask me what you like. It could be Saturday morning. Tell me what time it is where you are. Right. Let's go back over to the chat. By the way, again, just to tell you, this chat is what's called a multi-chat. I want to call it super chat, but it's not. Super chat's a thing, but it's multi-chat. By the way, if you want to do a super chat on YouTube, or if you want to do stars on Facebook, that is greatly appreciated. You don't have to do it, of course, but thank you very much if you do. Right, cool. Where are we? I've lost my place. There we go. Right, hang on. There we go. Right, let me take my little graphic off there. There we go. Cool. Right, regarding Loopy Pro, yes, saw the customizable Loopy interface. Also amazed by the door-like capability of range. I know. I just wasn't expecting it. I thought it was like, I don't know what I thought. It looked like some kind of like editor, but I was like, I couldn't believe he put it in. Capability of arranging and even arranging loops, where if you delete the audio, and keep it empty arrangement, and it triggers the loop recording for arranged loops. Remember the now defunct the ALK yeah, it's really clever. So imagine, for those who don't understand what that is, imagine making a loop on a certain channel, delete the loop, but keep the channel and the loop still there. So then next time when you actually trigger it, the loop will come back. So instead of going delete and you've got to re-record it, it'll just keep it there. It's a really clever idea. So yeah, it's all good. Right, cool. 4-bar loop. Let's help 4-bar loop out. So for video editing, I'm running Ableton Live to OBS via Voicemeeter. Okay, cool. So if you're on Voicemeeter, I guess you're on PC. So you're running Ableton Live into OBS and you want to know how you can edit your footage. Okay, cool. All right. Does anyone want to stab in on this one? I am an Apple guy, unfortunately, so I don't run PC, I run Mac. But actually, all my video editing is done on one of these. I use my Mac over here, and I'm using it right now. I'm using it to live stream to you guys. But every piece of video editing I've done over the past 2 years has been on iPad. I haven't used a Mac. I haven't used a PC. I've used an app which is called LumaFusion, and LumaFusion is an absolute powerhouse. It basically is a pro level editor, and you can get it now on the Mac if you've got an M1 Mac. But iPad, I've done it. And that, by the way, that's a big iPad Pro 5th generation. I was using 2 iPads ago. As it were. I even played around with it on an iPad mini, like an old one. But yeah, LumaFusion is an absolute powerhouse. So much so, I can even show it you here. I should be able to plug it in really, but I haven't plugged it in tonight. So LumaFusion is this bottom one here at the bottom there. There it is. And then, for example, this is one of the videos that's coming out. It is a performance video. As you can see there, I can just scroll through, and as I scroll through, all the videos are there, and I edit it up, and I've got to edit that one up. I haven't finished it yet. But LumaFusion is an absolute powerhouse on iOS. You can even do it on an iPhone. There's a big YouTuber called Jonathan Morrison, and he actually filmed and edited a music video on an iPhone SE, I think it was, like the SE2. Incredible piece of kit. It's really, really good. So there we go. Francis, brilliant. Thank you. You're welcome. No problem at all. This is what we're here for. The whole idea of Ask Me Anything is, first of all, ask me anything, but also the second thing as well is so you guys can actually get a bit of advice and we can all help each other out. Maybe you guys have got the answer for other people. So 4-bar loop for PC editing. I am thinking about basically what would be good for music editing. Now, let's have a think. Let's have a look. So yeah, that's. There we go. Top picks. Yeah. I mean, obviously, one of the big ones, of course, is Adobe, Adobe Premiere. But that's a huge, huge piece of kit. Some of the things, for example, on Shorts, if I do a YouTube Shorts video, obviously they're only 60 seconds. It's all done on here. It's all done on here. Don't even touch the iPad. It's all done on here. Again, using LumaFusion. And then I actually put it in 9:16 as opposed to 16:9. Yeah, really useful. Do it that way. Now, I would like to talk about one thing. And sorry, that sounded really serious. I didn't mean it to sound that serious. Just want to talk about one thing, and one thing is basically that I have a PDF that you can download and keep if you haven't done so already, and it's on my website. So what I would like you to do is go over to johnpaulmusic.co.uk. All my social media stuff is John Paul Music UK. However, my website is johnpaulmusic.co.uk. And what I'd like you to do is go over to there, scroll all the way to the bottom, and then what you can do is you can find my PDF to download to help you do a bit of looping. I hope... Whoop, I hope he's done that. I hope you've downloaded that. Hi, Pete. How are we? Wait a minute. It's the morning there, right? It's the morning. Yeah, so... Pete Johns from Studio Live today, absolute legend of a man. Just done some. You're doing a lot of live streaming at the moment. You're doing a lot of live streaming over the weekend. If you are wanting to know anything about recording at home, recording your stuff at home, go over to Pete's website. Go over to Pete's YouTube channel as well. Go to Studio Live today. And have a look, because he's got an absolute slew of stuff, everything from GarageBand. You've just actually shown people how to get Logic for 90 days for free. Apple actually now do that, but he actually shows you how to download it and everything, which is really, really useful. It's all good. You're welcome, Football Loop. No problem at all. It's all good. So actually, I don't know if Pete will actually know the answer to this. Football Loop is very, very new to YouTube and is actually recording music and hasn't actually put any videos out yet, but wants to. So I'm sure I'm going to put Pete on the spot now, because he likes Apple like me, but Pete's actually on PC. I'm just wondering if he's got any recommendations for PC video editing for beginners, like a beginner's editing one. The other person I know who does a lot of stuff for streaming is Rani. Rani, how we doing? JP Stream, the best stream. How you doing? So any PC video editing answers, because I'm a Mac guy, I'm an Apple guy. But yeah, I'm sure if we can help 4-Bar Loop out, he wants to know if there's any video editing software for PC that people would use for Ableton. He's recording from Ableton into OBS, and you can just take that footage and that's it, and then you that's it. But if you want to cut it up a little bit and move it around a little bit, that'd be really, really cool. Let's have a quick look. Yep, it's the morning, mate. I've never looped, so I might need to start looking at your stuff. Yep, no worries. I've got absolutely loads of stuff on my channel about looping. And Pete, if you are interested, and anyone else is interested, you can download my PDF, which is on johnpaulmusic.co.uk. It's free. It's a PDF. You can keep it. Just go and have a look. It's some of my top tips about how you can start looping, how you can get looping like a pro, and start doing that. It was quite cool. Let's have a quick look here. Do you know of any loop software for Mac or PC that could possibly replace oh, the holy grail, replace a hardware looper? I hook up a MIDI foot switch, tried Ableton, and there are gaps. Yeah. So, need to take a breath. And a drink, because it's Saturday. Are there any software loopers that could possibly replace hardware loopers for PC or Mac? Couple of questions straight away. Ironically, some of the best loopers that I've come across that are software based are iOS based. Now, if you've got a Mac that is an M1 Mac, some of those apps are actually coming over to the M1 machines. However, they're very new, they're very expensive, and I totally understand. I myself am running a 2013 iMac, which is lovingly, as of today, going to be passed on to my dad when I upgrade mine. He wants to have this Mac, which he's going to get. So he's going to get this. He's going to have the hand-me-down, as it were, and it's still a fantastic machine. It runs my studio. It runs all my music software, like Logic and Ableton, and look, it works perfectly fine. I've maxed out all the RAM. It was the top spec one at the time. It's the one before the 5K screen, so I was a bit miffed about that. There you go. It's my timing. It's all good. I would say iOS-wise, Loopy HD, Loopy Pro, Quantaloop, L7 Looper, all these different ones. Group the Loop. Group the Loop's amazing. Like Group the Loop a lot. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking at PC or Mac, I would probably turn around and say Ableton is the best, but you've got to program it correctly. And Ableton with a MIDI foot controller, the sky's the limit. You can do what you like. What I would suggest is connect with another YouTuber. And it's weird when YouTubers say connect with another YouTuber, but I think we all need to help each other out. So connect with Ben Rowlands. Ben Rowlands is a UK YouTuber and has 2 channels. He's got a Ben Rowlands music one, and his tech one is Ben Rowlands. But the music one, he actually uses a mixture of a hardware looper married with Ableton. And I did a interview. Of course it's video, it's YouTube. I did an interview with him, which is called How Do You Loop? I have a How Do You Loop series. So if you want to watch that video, that interview is really good. And that's also a podcast as well. If anyone wants to actually listen to that on the go, you can do. It's now a podcast. It's available on my website. It's available on Apple Music Podcasts. It's available on Google Podcasts. And I think Spotify as well. How Do You Loop? That's what it's called. So Ben Rowlands, connect with Ben, because Ben actually does do that. He does it live, and he uses a MIDI controller as well as a looper and Ableton. So he knows his stuff when it comes to things like that. Definitely. Rani, how are we? That's really funny. When I put this up, actually on the chat, you can actually see it was 3 purple hearts. But when we put it up on here, it actually just shows you like the old school way of typing. That's really odd, isn't it? It's interesting. We have an answer. Let's have a quick look. PC video, DaVinci Resolve. Why didn't I think about that? Of course. It's free, isn't it? DaVinci's free, like completely free, and it's huge. It's used like in a professional standard. So DaVinci Resolve, there we go. 4-bar loop, take that on board. Google DaVinci Resolve, and it is a steep learning curve. Yes, I don't use it. I've played with it, and I've gone, huh? So you might have to obviously do a little bit of support videos and have a look at some videos there. Definitely, it's all good. Rani, enforced break from streaming because I got this super cold. Oh dear. Yeah, cry. But for video editing, personally love Sony Movie Studio. Believe it. Oh, Vegas. Yeah, the Vegas one. You've been using that a while, haven't you? Yeah, Vegas on a PC. You can get that as well. There you go. We've got 2 answers straight away. Fantastic. The YouTube editor itself, built into YouTube, works great for just trimming. So if you've got the video set and you've done, then basically if you just need to cut it, you can actually upload it to YouTube. And then before you publish it, you can go into the YouTube editor and just cut it. So you can do that. It works. It's good. It's okay. It's pretty all right. It's great for trimming so if you want to trim the ends off, and it's just in the browser, you can do that. That's also another thing as well. There's a couple of browser editors now that are popping up where you're kind of using the cloud to kind of edit stuff. Now, the only thing with that is if you haven't got a great internet service, it takes a long time, because if I'm going to upload 4K and I've got 3 megabyte speed, it's going to take a long time. It's also going to take a long time to upload it as well. So obviously, an on-device editor is always faster, but then also a couple of them are free. So give them a whirl. Let's have a look. Maybe that's a future video. I might have to have a look at that. Rennie. Yeah, the same copy forever, so you well out the latest version of the software. Okay, fair enough. That's all right. I'd say I've not used it, but yeah, have a look at Vegas, isn't it? Vegas Movie Studio. Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Another one. 4-bar loop for video editing on PC. Sony Vegas is pretty good. There are also several flavors. Some versions are pretty affordable. Oh, fantastic. I didn't know about that. There we go. And that has also been seconded by Rani. Fantastic. Hi, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Adam. How are we? Adam is one of the lovely people who has actually bought my loop course, which is how to loop like a pro. So if you want to have a look at that, you're more than welcome to. How's it going? I hope you're enjoying it. It's not a stupidly long course. It's a course you can complete quite quickly. It's what I like to call a concise course, and I'm going to be adding something to it soon. I'm going to add a new chapter. Oh yes. And then if you've already bought the course, you're not paying anything extra. So that course is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. With more things in as we move in looping. So if you want to figure that out and you want to have a look at how to loop like a pro, I've been looping for over 15 years. I've been using hardware loopers, software loopers, live on stage, in the studio, lots of different things. So go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk and you can go to how to loop like a pro is right there for you as well. So not heard of DaVinci Resolve. I'll check it out. Been wanting to put more of my VODs on YouTube. I've always been branching out with software. There we go. Fantastic. There we go. Good. 4-bar loop. Look what you've started. We've had a good conversation here. So Rennie's on Twitch. We've got 4-bar loop on YouTube. We've got people on Facebook as well. So this is a multi-chat, and this is what I like about it. Everyone can talk to one another, no matter which service you're on, which is great. So thanks you guys for the advice. Much appreciated. Just need to cut on some small settings. So be again with YouTube tools. Thank you a lot. I enjoyed this live stream. You're welcome. That's great. And I like the fact everyone's helping everyone out. It's fantastic. Adam, hi JP. I'm on your live looping course. Yes, you are. I have some questions. Let's have a quick questions about the RC500 and the MC8. I try a few. Let's have a quick look. Regarding the course, folks, do join the chat functions so we can all trade tips. Yes, there's another thing as well. I'm actually starting to create a community, and that community is about looping. No matter which looper you use, whether it's software looper, hardware looper, whatever you want. So if you download the PDF, which is on, go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk, go to the bottom, there's a PDF there for you to download. I'll send you the PDF on email, and what I'll also do as well, I'll send you the link for the community and just join there so we can chat. The one thing I've found with communities is you've got people who've got like a Boss RC300, and you've got people who've got like a I don't know, a Boomerang 3, which is also a looper, by the way, or you've got people who use Ableton. And actually, they need the same tips. They've actually got the same kind of tips to get up and running. Or they want to show off their looper board and they go, oh, I tried this today. It worked really well. The problem is that if you actually are in a specific cell community about looping, but it's even nicher and it's actually about a looping pedal, just that one pedal, you might miss that tip. So the whole point of this community, it is in its infancy. The community is JP's looping community. That's all I've called it right now. It might change. Then that way we can all start talking to each other and also across the table, kind of like hand each other's tips. I think that's a great idea. It's just a place to be positive about it, about looping itself, and obviously just have a play. Where are we? Glenn, thanks very much. Much appreciated. You're welcome, sir. No problem at all. Just got the MC8. Have you really? Oh, fantastic. Go watch my video. I did a video all about the MC8. It's the Morningstar is just cool. Yeah, you can basically do so much with it. And also Adam as well, RC500 MC8. So the one thing that I will tell you about the RC500 and the MC8, which is that one, I'm sure you'll try a few. You've tried a few. So questions about it, and this is more of a Boss thing than the Morningstar thing. Is basically you have to send out you have to send command out to open and to close. You have to put 2 commands on per press, if that makes sense. So you have to put a command on 127 volume. And for anyone else who's listening and what the hell is he talking about, I'll explain in a minute. And then another command to say 0 for the same MIDI command. So it opens it to send the signal and closes it to send the signal. And then that way, when you press it again, it's open again. Does that make sense? So yeah, just have a look at that video and the MC8 video. So if you have a look at the Morningstar, I've got 3 videos. I've got one with the Loopy HD and the Morningstar, and I've also got you've got Morningstar one with Loopy HD and a Morningstar with lots of other ones. So the RC5, the RC500, and the headrush looper board as well. And someone asked me, can you do a clear all on the headrush looper board? Yes, you can. through the Morningstar. You can just press one button and it clears it, but it keeps all the settings, which is really cool. I really like that. It's cool. Right. 500 MC8 question number 1. Looper mode. Do you use this on the RC8? On the RC8, I think it's meant to be MC8. Do you put it on the button that takes you to the? Right. Okay. So, for those of you who don't understand what we're talking about, Adam's got an MC8 and a 500, and the MC8 has this thing where it goes into looper mode. Okay, it doesn't do anything other than it makes the contacts quicker. So when you press something, it's instant. If you press the button on a effects processor and you missed it a couple of milliseconds, it doesn't really matter. Chorus on, chorus off. Distortion on, distortion off. You go, oh, I missed it. I'll just press it again. On a looper, if you press it and you miss it, you've buggered up the whole loop, or you've deleted something by accident. That it can really affect the performance. So looper mode, what it does is it actually reduces the amount of latency. So when you press it, it's so bang on, it's like you're hitting it on the actual board itself. So yes, I turn that on when I'm using it with a looper, and that's the reason why, because you want it to be you want the milliseconds to be as reduced as possible. So turning looper mode on, what that does, excuse me, is it will basically reduce those milliseconds, and it just makes it a little bit faster and more responsive while using it as a looper or with a looper. If you use it with an effects processor, you don't need that, so you can turn that system off, and then when you're pressing the buttons, when you're pressing the buttons, it doesn't need it as much. Apparently, from what I figured out, when it's in looper mode, it takes up a little bit more power. So if you're using like a power bank, that's the reason why it's a specific mode as opposed to just being on all the time. But other than that, yes, I do use it. I put it in looper mode, and then I use one button to engage it, and then I basically, when you change over to a different bank, it's out of looper mode. When you go back in, you have to press to enter looper mode, and yeah, so I do it that way. What I do is actually bank up. So you've got 8 buttons, press the bank, go up to the other 8. There's my enter on that one. So then I can then come back, and I'm not going to press it by accident. I hope that makes sense, Adam. For everyone else who's scratching their heads, if you haven't got an MC8, you don't know what I'm talking about. JP's MC8 video was wonderful. Huh. Good, thank you. All good. Rani, this is huge, so it's going to cut itself off. Just noticed the stream title is Ask Me Anything. So here's an interesting question. If you could have your dream bit of equipment for free and constantly upgraded and replaced for the rest of your life, but you had to trade it... What was that? You have to trade it with another beloved bit of equipment you already have and could never get it replaced again, what would you wish for and what would you get rid of? Oh, crap. Wow. I just need a second to take that in. So what you're asking me is, one dream bit of equipment I could get for free and constantly upgraded for the rest of my life, but I have to trade in another one and I can never get it back again. That's what you're saying, right? Okay. You've got me here. I love this. Right. What would I trade? Okay. I would, to answer Rani's question, if you could have your dream bit of equipment for free and constantly upgrade and replaced for the rest of your life, that would be my loop pedal. Do you notice how I was non-specific there? My loop pedal, my flagship loop pedal that I use, that's what I would have for free and constantly upgraded for the rest of my life. What I would trade, oh my God. And the thing that you can't actually see that Rani's put here, the thing that you can't see is, there we go, is it says, another beloved bit of equipment that you already have and you could never get or replace again. So if I said something like a keyboard, that's too vague. I can't do that. I can't do. I know. I will trade. No, I don't. I don't want to do it. Yes. I will trade my MIDI keyboard. My MIDI keyboard, which is actually at the moment I love and it is beloved. Oh, that's hard. Is my Arturia Keylab 49 Mark II, and I can never get it back or anything like it. However, what that means is I could get an a real keyboard. This is a MIDI keyboard, so this is just making sounds. Sorry, not making sounds. It's just sending controls. So I would trade the MIDI keyboard in, but that means I can still buy a real keyboard, like a real musical keyboard, and I'd get them a looper. Hey, there we go. We did it. Cool. MC8. It was because I saw it on one of your videos, the one where you hook up to Loopy HD. And that made my mind up to get it. Oh, you're welcome. So that made your mind up. That's brilliant. Cool. Did you know that now you with the MC8 you can. Oh, nice thing I didn't actually do in that video, which I'm going to do a follow-up video actually about expression pedals. And you can obviously plug in an expression. It says on the back you can plug in an expression pedal. Did you know you can control the volume of the loops with that expression pedal? Game changer. However, on Loopy HD, you can say which loops you control the volume of. So imagine that you did it just for the beats. You only had like loop 1 and 2 for the expression pedal. So you've got like a and you just drop it down for a split second, but the chords are still going. And so it's all still going. It's not stopping the loop. And then you just bring the volume back up. Absolute game changer. So I'm going to show you that in another video. I think that's going to be a really cool piece of kit. And all you need is an expression pedal that plugs in to the back of the MC8, and then you can control and you can tell Loopy how to do that, but you need to tell the Morningstar what that is. So it's an expression pedal. It's going to control 127 and 0. That's it. And then on Loopy HD, you then tell it that what to do. So I'll bring that video out. I think it's really cool. I hope you like it. Right, cool. What we got? 2 commands. What does that mean? 2 assigns must be used for at least one command. Some commands I have implemented the clear all, but it requires. Yes, it does. Yes. So literally like record is like click like on off. Does that make sense? 1 2. Yeah. So like 127 off 0. So that's 2 commands. Now, you can do 16 on each button, so you're not going to be in trouble. And that's just press. You've also got double tap. You've also got hold. So you can do multiple things if you really wanted to. But yes, it does mean 2 assigns. So 2. Not sorry. Oh, hang on a second. Not 2 assigns from the RC500. I'm talking about just the MC8. Like you need to tell the RC500 on off. Does that make sense? But no, it doesn't take up 2 assigns of the RC500. It's just 2 commands to send 1 assign. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Oh, I need another drink. Would you recommend the RC10R for just using for practice and songwriting? It seems to have a bad rep in many YouTube. I remember I'm annoyed with it. Do you know if Boss have fixed it? I don't know if Boss has fixed it. However, I think people have got the wrong expectation of the Boss RC10R. The 10R was kind of like Boss's answer to a little bit like the Beat Buddy. But everyone was like, okay, cool, it's a Beat Buddy and it's a looper. Well, no, they're the same. It's the same thing in one. So it's like an RC5 with a mini Beat Buddy on the side. That's the way I'd look at it. So it's still a 1-phrase looper. It's still the 10R. The sounds are better, and you've got more like fills and variations. But as a writing tool, as a practice tool, if you haven't got any other looper, yes, absolutely. If you've got another looper, no. The reason is because is it really going to matter what if the beat's going or the beat's going whatever? The variation of beat doesn't really matter. The syncopation does, but then it's more about the BPM and the groove. If you've got a different groove, then yeah, it's going to be of a different feel, I suppose. So for writing, I never write to a beat, which sounds weird. You always write to a beat, but what I mean by that is I don't go and find the drum beat first and go, cool, that's what I'm going to write the song about. I write the song based on what I'm feeling, or if I've got this little twiddly noise, or if I've figured something on the keyboard, then unless that beat is like, you know, something really, really, really crisp, and it's kind of like I need that specific beat in it. I'll give you an example. Justin Timberlake, Say Something, right? You hear that, like that's a fundamental foundation for that song. However, I don't think they wrote it with that beat to begin with. Potentially they did, I don't know. I feel like they had the tune first, and then they went and found all the sounds to go around it. So for a writing practice, to answer your question, I don't know if they fixed it. I don't know if there's a firmware update to it. You can check that on, obviously, on Boss's website. The RC10 is a great piece of kit, and it's great for just practicing or songwriting. What I'd recommend to do is get it from somewhere where you can return it. So if you want to trial it, get it from somewhere that you know you can return it, even if you've opened the box, and then give it a whirl. If it's for you, keep it. If it's not, send it back, and then just give it a whirl. You could do that. So yeah. Rani, oh, nice choice. I knew this would be a difficult one. As a fellow tech, it is. Yeah. I want to keep everything and keep all the tech. So difficult one. Right, 4-bar loop. How about the master level? How loud should I record to get a good volume? Does YouTube apply any audio treatment to the uploaded video? Okay, cool. So to answer this, yes and no. What I would suggest is, this is my opinion. This is not a golden rule, but my opinion is between sort of like 3 and 6 dB below 0. So if you're at 0 and you go above 0, you'll get distortion. Now, this isn't the cool distortion you get from a guitar. This is distortion, the horrible noise that people will switch off instantly as soon as they hear that noise. Digital distortion's horrible. So what you want to do is have what's called headroom. And what that means is basically it actually comes from the word headroom actually comes from film, where there's a bit of headroom between here and here. If I went like that and I'm talking to you like this, it's fine. But then I've got nowhere to move. If I was moving, I'd cut my head off. So that was from film. So audio wise, they took that name, headroom, and 0 is your limit. Absolute limit. Do not go to 0. Do not do the whole turn it up. You can turn it up to 11 if you want to, but then the master volume's got to be, 0. But then everything else should be peaking at around about -3 to -6. So if I make something on GarageBand, or if I make something on Logic, or if I make something on Cubasis or Ableton, whatever, between 3 and 6 dB, okay, low. And then you've got literally a little bit of a gap. Why? The reason is because your song's not mastered at all, okay? Now, if it's just a live performance and that's the sound you want, absolutely fine. So go to about -3 dB. Okay. If you then want to master it and you want to use a bit of mastering tools, so I use a company called Cloud Bounce. So I send the stuff over to Cloud Bounce. They need about that much, so they can put a compressor on and a bit of other stuff and everything else, and then push it and put a limiter on it. So they'll make it go to 0 dB. If you listen to stuff on the radio, listen to stuff on the like on Apple Music or Spotify and everything else, it's been pushed to the very, very limit, but actually it's been recorded a little bit lower, so they can actually do stuff with it, and they've got a bit of headroom. If you record it at 0 dB and try to add stuff, you're going to go into digital distortion. So my advice would be master level, don't touch it in that respect, in the respect of that. Now, if you were to record something, say, for example, on GarageBand on iOS, it does a weird thing where actually it does auto compression. And what that does is, like, you could just turn everything up to full, and it will actually make the track and make it auto compression. Even Pete's talked about that on a video, about mastering and where you can actually pull it back a bit to get a bit more headroom. So if you're, and then obviously with YouTube, it doesn't apply any audio treatment. However, if someone's watching it obviously in a lower quality, you still want the audio to sound good. If you upload it in a higher quality, it could take longer for it to be processed before it's ready, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, audio treatment doesn't happen to uploaded videos. It shouldn't do. It should be as it is. But then also, you'd want a little bit of movement. Flip side of that is for video, you don't want it too low because then otherwise everyone goes, oh, I need to turn it up. I can't quite hear what he's saying or can't quite hear the sound. But I would say if you're making a sound or anything else, you're doing it on Ableton, there's a couple of nice little tools there. You can put a limiter on there to make sure you never go above, or you can put a compressor on the microphone, things like that. And then that way you're kind of almost mixing it and mastering it before it goes to YouTube anyway. I hope that makes sense. What are we on? Let's have a quick look. Cool, RC10R, that makes sense. Thank you. It's so much better to write to a metronome than a can beat. Interesting. Do you know what? I paused there because you said it's so much better to write to a metronome rather than a can beat. Yes and no. I agree that, you know, you've got this thing. You might already have a beat in your head. You might have a syncopated beat in your head while you're playing something. Sometimes a metronome can be just tick, tock, 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 tick, tock, tock, tock. However, if you've got a, you know, something, no, a little bit more inside the actual beat, it might change the groove. It might change the way you write it because actually you're writing it with a little bit of a swing beat as opposed to tick, 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 tick. So I'm just being a devil's advocate there. So, you know, take from that what you will. I prefer to have a little bit of rhythm in my head because, of course, when playing on guitar or something, I'm going to create a rhythm with playing the guitar. I'm not a lead person. I'm a chords person. If I'm playing on piano, of course, you end up making a syncopation out of what you're playing anyway. So, yeah, each their own. It depends on how you play. So it all depends. So, guys, this is my little show called Ask Me Anything. You can ask me anything. Rani's asked me, what would I give up tech-wise? I've been asked about video editing. I've been asked about music. I've been asked about looping. I've been asked about audio advice. No one asked me what I had for dinner, but it was Spanish chicken made by my loving wife with chorizo, and it was lovely. So, guys, one final thing. This video and this live stream is sponsored by our friends at DistroKid. They are our sponsor for today, and they have an amazing thing where you give your songs to them, you keep all your royalties, and you keep 100% of your copyright. And they send it out to all the music streaming places in the world. So things like YouTube, and yeah, you can send it to YouTube, by the way. You can send it to Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, Amazon, Pandora in the States. And there could even be a music streaming site that you're not aware of that's in a different country and your music could be on there. There could be one that's actually taken over an absolute storm in India or in Asia and Australasia and you don't know about it, but actually DistroKid can push it to that platform and you could actually be on there. So if you actually are looking at making some music and you are looking at releasing that music, and you can even release covers as well, and they'll give you the legal license for it, which is clever. Click the link that's in the description box, but also at the same time, we've got this link that's actually on the screen, and that will give you 7% off your first annual membership, no matter which tier you choose. And the tiers start at $19.99 per year, so you can release as much music as you want to for 1 year, which is amazing. It's for me, it's about £16 in the UK, and I can give you 7% off that for your first annual membership. Now, even if you've got a label and you want to actually, like, you know, you've got 6 bands, you can do a label. The label's $80 a year, and you get 7% off that as well. So I want to thank DistroKid for sponsoring Ask Me Anything. Last couple of things, and then I'm going to wrap up. But basically, we've got one last question from Rani. Which songs would you recommend as great examples of how looping can be used to its fullest? Ooh, well, apart from my own ones, which you can find, I've got a couple of albums out there. Not all of them are looping. I do have an EP that's looping. And then on my album, which is called Walking Home, the extras at the end are all looping as well. However, looping is one of these things where if you just listen to it, you don't know it's looping. If it's done really well, it just sounds like a normal CD. It's more of a visual thing as much as it is as a audio thing. So if you want to have a look at someone who is really good at looping, other than myself, have a look at the following people. Carl Wachner, Ben Rowlands, John Wynn, David Shannon, obviously, because he's a great guy as well. Mark Rebellier, absolutely insane. Love him to bits. I think he's fantastic. Katie Tunstall, Ed Sheeran, Elise Trow, can never say her name properly, and the lovely lady who is literally known as I Am Kashawi. Fantastic. Mike Love. Go and look at Mike Love Holiday. Go and look at that on YouTube. Mike Love Holiday. What he does with a looper halfway through the song. He's looping everything anyway, but what he does with a looper halfway through the song, I can't do it. It's just brilliant. It's really, really good. Alex Hutchins as well. Have a look at Alex as well. Now, a couple of things I want to say. You're more than welcome. I've just seen that 4-bar loop. Thank you very much for a complete, clear answer. See you soon. Have a good day and evening. Musically, cool, fantastic, cool, excellent. And then Adam, thank you very much. Have a good one. Yeah, you too as well, mate. That's all good. Complete that course. Let me know how it goes. And throw some questions my way by all means. That's what we like. A couple of last week I brought out a 47-second video about that. That is a new loop pedal, and some videos will be coming soon. Please wait. And there is a live stream by Boss next week, all about it. So please go and watch that live stream. It's already up there now, so you can actually set a reminder. So please go and watch that, and maybe your questions will be answered. But then I will be having a comprehensive overview of it very, very soon, which is the Boss RC600. So guys, thank you very much. I'm going to end the stream with that. Thank you, Rani. Great stream. And if you have got any questions and it's got to 3 a.m. and you've woken up in a cold sweat and you forgot to ask me, then please just come and ask me. Put it on a video, or just come and ask me in the social medias. So we are live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, on LinkedIn. This is Ask Me Anything from me. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.